Happy second week of March. We are continuing our theme of salads for our welcoming spring back. We're so excited that the snow is melting. I thought we could work on a salad today that allows us to use some of the things we've put away from the winter. So some of our gourds, some of our dried fruits, some of our onions and shallots, and still bring in that light, bright flavor of a salad, but not waste the butternut squash and the figs that we have left over. So today's salad is roasted butternut squash with dried figs, some candied pecans, and goat's cheese. A little bit of bacon, a roasted shallot vinaigrette. Oh, it's delicious. There's some warm stuff on there, some cold stuff on there. It's a great main dish if you just kind of want a light dinner, or it's of course a lovely side dish. You could also add, if we get to the end, if you wanted to add some rotisserie chicken or some more protein, that's also fine to beef it up into a full meal. But I think this one really stands on its own. Roasted butternut squash is totally my favorite. So this is one of my absolute favorite salads. So let's start with our pecans. These are just pecan halves. We've got lots of pecans locally and lots of walnuts locally. So that's why I still have these from last season. They tend to store really well. They also freeze well. The oil and nut sometimes kind of goes rancid if you leave it out on the counter. So if you just pop these in the freezer in a zip-tight baggie, they'll last for a long time. Just bring them out and let them thaw. It's not like they really need to thaw, but come back to room temperature. So that's what we have here. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil, some honey, some sea salt, and some crushed red pepper flake. And that will just kind of, as you sit in the oven, the honey will melt, and the salt will kind of soak in, and the olive oil will soak in, and they'll almost candy in there, which is a really nice crunch against the sweet, really soft roasted butternut squash and our figs. I don't know about you, but I love dried fruit. Dried cherries, dried figs, dried plums, whatever you have. It's a wonderful way to preserve your summertime fruit and be able to use it all year round, which is so nice. So this is just crushed red pepper. Remember, you can make that really easily if you get those red chilies in the summer. String them up, kind of use a needle and thread and string them on a yarn or thread of some sort, and just let them hang. They'll dry naturally right there in your kitchen, and then you can just kind of squeeze them up with your fingers and they'll turn into that red chili flake. So easy and so delicious. So that's all it took with these pecans. I'm going to get some of this extra delicious honey off my fingers and get these in the oven. The oven's at it's at 415 degrees. It'll just take a few minutes. They'll toast, they'll get really nutty and crunchy and caramelized and absolutely delicious. Let's kind of switch gears some and work on our dressing. What I've put in here, we're going to do a roasted shallot vinaigrette. So, shallots are kind of like onions. To me, they taste like a hybrid between an onion and a garlic. They're larger than garlic. They're normally about, yay big. They have a purple wrapper on the outside, but they're much more mellow than a bright onion. So they do wonderfully in things like dressings or stuffings or anytime you can roast them. I roasted this butternut squash and the shallot and the garlic all at the same time on one roasting pan. It makes cleanup a whole lot easier, and it makes the cooking process go a ton faster for you. So it's just butternut squash and then these shallots, some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, some salt and pepper, 415-degree oven, 30-35 minutes, and they are soft and sweet and caramelized and delicious. So I put the shallots, it's 2 shallots, and probably 3 or 4 good-sized cloves of roasted garlic in here. Now, this is going to be loud for just 1 second, but I want this to really kind of puree and pulverize down to nothing. So let me run it. Oh, that's not too bad. So that looks great. What we're going to add to this is we're going to make a salad dressing. Just like you make any other vinaigrette salad dressing, this is just going to help make it, almost makes it really creamy. Oh, it's just delicious. So, just like we do with the normal vinaigrette, you need something that's going to help emulsify the oil and the vinegar, or else you have that separated kind of greasy mess. So Dijon mustard works great to help blend that oil and vinegar together. So we're going to add a couple spoonfuls of Dijon mustard. If you have honey mustard, if you like just a yellow, normal kind of hot dog mustard, you like the bite or the brightness of that, go for it, no problem. We're going to add a little bit of honey just for some sweetness. Now the shallots themselves, when you caramelize them, will bring out their natural sweetness, so you don't need a ton of honey. A couple teaspoons to your tasting. If you like your salad dressing really sweet, go for it, add more. Just remember, we are doing butternut squash, which has a natural sweetness to the squash itself, and the fig, so really you don't need to add a whole lot more honey here. Now, I know you've seen this before. This is an apple fig balsamic vinegar. Oh, it works perfectly with the figs that we have here. So we're going to add some of that right on in there. Oh, this smells amazing. Again, if you just have regular balsamic, is fine. You know what else would be really good with this is an apple cider vinegar. It would be really nice. Kind of the sweetness of some of these flavors would be great with that. I'm going to add some salt and a little bit of that crushed red pepper and give this another whirl. Salt goes everywhere, doesn't it? And then we'll add our olive oil. Now, because of the shallots that we have in here, it's going to have a lot of body to it, so you'll need probably most of this olive oil. I'm going to blend this and see how we're doing, and then we'll go from there. It smells amazing already. This clearly is my favorite part of the salad, is this dressing. I'm going to add about half of that. We'll see if we like that. Oh yeah, this is looking great. Really creamy, really, oh, smells amazing. I do think we're going to need the rest. You know, salad dressings are a wonderful way to just kind of experiment, play with what you like, flavors that you like. You can't go wrong, and you just want to get it to a thickness that you enjoy. If you like it really thick, don't add as much olive oil. If you like it thinner, keep going. So, yeah. This looks great. Oh. Again, I'm so sorry you can't smell. But see, let me move this so you can see a little better. Do you see how thick that is? It's got a great viscosity to it. It'll hold up well. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. It'll hold up really well against some of these other flavors. So let's scooch this over here, clear off some space. The last thing we need to do is just kind of assemble what we've got here. I have some mixed baby greens. They are lovely. It's a very spring. It's not super sharp. It doesn't have any of that arugula or the radicchio, those harsh ones. It's just, you know, some soft lettuces, some of the early ones that come in. And to that, we're going to top it, with this roasted butternut squash. Friends, it is out of this world. Add as much or as little as you like, no problem. I love it, so I'm, of course, going to load it up. And some of these dried figs, again, the dried figs work perfectly for this. If you have dried cherries, those would be delicious on there. These are pretty small, so I'm just going to cut them in half, just this size. They have a delicious, really yummy kind of creaminess to them as well. I think our pecans might be ready. Oh yeah, they smell incredible. You see how they kind of begin just to toast up and get a little bit of color on them? They're amazing. So we're going to sprinkle some of these on here. Again, some of this stuff is warm. The butternut squash is warm, the pecans are warm, so it's going to provide a lovely kind of counterpoint to that cold, crispy lettuce. Oh, one of my favorite parts of spring are the warm and the cold foods together. Let me chop up a couple more of these figs. And then I've made some bacon. I love bacon. Anytime, any place I can put that on there, I'm going to find room for it. But I've cooked up some bacon. I've rendered it to get it really crispy. I'm going to add that. If you wanted this to be a totally vegetarian salad, you absolutely could. Another great thing you could do to this salad dressing is add some of that leftover bacon drippings into the salad dressing. I cannot tell you how amazing that would be. But, you know, I'm trying to keep it a little lighter. My friend Patrick told me my recipes were too heavy, so I took out some of the bacon fat, but it would be delicious in there. Absolutely delicious. So, some bacon. The last thing we're going to do is add some goat's cheese. I'm going to plate this and give it a taste. Like I told you, this is one of my most favorite salads. Goat's cheese is just a lovely, there's kind of a creaminess that I love. It's not quite as sharp as the feta, so it's really nice to use that. Oh, I almost forgot the salad dressing. The best part, let me grab a spoon. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to plate it and then dress it on the plate here. Oh, let me make sure I get some of all of these delicious parts. Some of the squash, some of the cheese, some of the figs, and the bacon. Oh, I hope you give this one a try. It really is a wonderful combination. I get some salad dressing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful week eating locally. See you next time.